Hello and welcome to another installment of Long Range Productions. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Ruger LC9 9mm subcompact. This gun has been a great gun straight out of the box. Its form factor lends itself nicely to concealed carry, as well as putting it in your glove box, driving around with it, things along those lines, as long as it is legal to do so, obviously. It's a great little backup gun. Fits in the back pocket just fine. Duty pants, BDUs, so on, fits in there real well. Stays nice and tidy. There are also some holster options out there for pocket carry with this thing. So this gun I purchased about 6 months ago. Has about 200 rounds downrange. As you can see, it is empty. Make sure all these guns are empty before I start filming. This gun does have a magazine disconnect, magazine safety. As you can see, safety is off. Trying to pull the trigger here. No dice. It will not fire without the magazine inserted. The other thing about this gun is it is a double action only, meaning with every pull of the trigger it is a very long pull, but the hammer will actually come all the way back until it breaks, which is hard to find sometimes because the trigger is so long. And when it does break, you can see it actually falls farther than when it's cocked. If I keep trigger pulled down here and just recock it, you can see the slide does actually bring it back to its cocked or semi-cocked position, and then the process starts all over again. Long reset, an even longer trigger pull, and the trigger is very heavy, somewhat like a revolver, but not as refined and smooth overall. So the trigger pull is quite long, though that lends itself quite well to my preference, which is carrying the gun chambered with the safety off. In a true self-defense situation, the safety can sometimes be forgotten, especially if you train with primaries such as an M&P. Again, gun has been cleared. You can see magazine is completely empty. Gun is also completely empty. But again, no safety here. Also much shorter trigger pull, tighter reset, so on and so forth. But coming back to this guy, so if the M&P is your primary and the LC9 is your backup or your secondary or your carry piece, you do need to train with it accordingly. It is very slim, so somebody with medium to large size hands like me, you do somewhat engulf the gun completely with a nice full grip. Secondary grip is somewhat hard to get full purchase on, but it is possible, and you just have to watch out for the magazine release. That was an issue that I was having until I slightly modified my grip and just brought my middle finger down slightly so that I wasn't wrapped up on it and under recoil and dropping the mag. Because it is such a small gun, you can actually get to the mag release without adjusting your grip, which is nice. Something like a full size, most people will have to adjust their grip somehow, going from a full grip to magazine release. I can't really get it, so have to modify the grip slightly to get to the mag release. So slightly different training required with this gun, as should be, you know, expected with any slightly different platform or variation thereof. The gun does have a loaded chamber indicator as well. I'll lock the slide back here and pop this up. when the chamber is loaded with a live round, the loaded chamber indicator will stick up. It is very large in comparison to the loaded chamber indicators that I am used to, such as the XD series firearms with a much smaller LCI. It also does say loaded when up. Ruger and their lawyers, I guess, decided that you know, spelling it out for us Nimrods was the best course of action. So there you go, there you have it. There's also a lock back here. I basically put the tool up and have never looked at it. The lock does work kind of like a Smith & Wesson revolver with the locks. It just locks the fire control group so that you cannot pull the trigger no matter what with the magazine in or out, safety on or off, doesn't matter. The trigger will not be able to be pulled back. It's literally locked, just like if you were to drop the magazine. So this gun is actually fairly accurate for its size and the barrel length. The barrel does do quite well with all loads tested. I've tested Winchester White Box, 115 grain. I've also tested Hornady, Critical Defense. I've tested Ruger Talons, 115, 124, 147s. They've all worked really well. The HydroShocks have worked really well. I have not had any fail to feeds, fail to fires, fail to ejects. That has been the fault of the gun. This gun is dead nuts reliable, and that is really something that you want in a personal defense weapon such as this. So that is the tabletop review of the Ruger LC9 9mm subcompact. I will now cut away to the shooting portion of it, show you how she does on the range. Quite an accurate little piece for 10 yards or so. Does quite well. Not a lot of recoil, as you will undoubtedly see. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so here we are at my local indoor range where I do a good amount of my shooting. The format here is 3 full mags of semi-rapid fire, controlled aim, semi-rapid pace. There I had a fail to feed caused by me actually hitting the magazine eject button. It was a simple fix and the gun was back up and running for the last 2 rounds. The gun is quite accurate. I'm shooting at 10 yards, center mass there. Now I am shooting 5 rounds aimed at the head portion of the IDPA target you see there 10 yards out. And then I will switch over to a still shot of the target here. And you can see the grouping is actually pretty good center mass. And that is a 5-shot group up in the head. 2 rounds did actually go through the same hole. So all in all, a very good personal defense option. Ruger LC9, good buy, good value. So all in all, I actually give the nod for this little Ruger. Hope you've enjoyed watching. This has been Long Range Productions, tabletop review and shooting review of the Ruger LC9.